Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining this lovely evening. We're going to get started right off. I'm Amrita. I'm the community lead at My Careernet, and I'm really excited for today's session. So, let me quickly tell you how the next 1 hour is going to go. We're going to spend about 30 minutes in conversation with our speaker for today, and then the floor is yours. That's where you get to ask whatever is on your mind. So, quick word on today's guest. We've got Anish Navalkar with us. Anish is a B-School and Wired alum himself, and today he's also the University Relations Lead at Flipkart, where he hires talent across campuses. So he's sat exactly where a lot of you are sitting right now, and he's also on the other side of the table now. Anish, welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Welcome. Thank you, Amrita. Good evening to you and all of those who are attending. Excited to start the session. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so before we dive in, a couple of quick things. You will be able to see a QR code on your screen. That's the registration link, and it'll stay up throughout the whole session. So whenever you're ready, you can scan it and lock your spot. Secondly, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat as we go. We'll be pulling those from the open Q&A later, so don't wait to type them out. And last thing, if you run into any login or portal issues while you're registering, don't wait on us. There's a smaller QR code for our Discord support channel in the top corner. Scan that, you can post your issue there, and our team will get you sorted. All right, then let's get right into it. So, Anish, let's start with you as a participant before all the Flipkart badges came in. Take us back. What made you sign up for Wired as a participant, and what almost stopped you from applying?
Understood. So yeah, I'll take you through my entire journey. First of all, as you mentioned, right, this is a complete full circle moment for me. I was exactly sitting right where these guys are a couple of years ago. So when my journey started when I enrolled for my MBA and I am Amritsar MBA HR course in 2022. So I got to know about Wired as in competition during that period. But I was a very unserious child back then. I was a fresher, so I did not know the importance of these events, right? And a few of my friends had registered along with me in this case competition, but again, we couldn't get past the first round itself. So I kind of brushed it off. Then internship happened, second year happened, and then the weight of it kind of started getting on my shoulders. Right, I need to get placed. I need to have a good opportunity in front of me, and that's when Wired knocked my doors again. So a close friend of mine, Abhishek, he was again a batchmate of mine as well. He suggested, let's take part in this. It's a good opportunity, and we'll go through this nice journey and maybe get a PPI at the end of it, right? Along with him, I participated. Again, there was another person named Kriti who was an intern from our batch to Flipkart. She had also gotten through Wired the previous year, so we kind of approached her. Ki, would you like to be a part of this team? And she said yes. So we took her in, and we had very strategically selected this team. Abhishek was a person who was really good at networking and making connections with people and gathering knowledge and information, right? Really brilliant at research. I was really good at design and ideation and helping in that way. And Kriti obviously came with her own skill set and an additional point of having a context of Flipkart, right? Having participated in Wired as well as being a part of Flipkart for 2 months. So the team, all in all, seemed very solid, right? So we took part. We went through the initial screening round. We did the test rounds. Then we got selected for round two, which is the three-slider submission. Right. Just to give you some context on what our case study was, it was so for the HR track that year, it was particularly around personalization of rewards for the employees that are part of Flipkart. So the most basic thing, the first thing that we did is just to talk to as many people as possible. Now, again, that could mean the current employees of Flipkart, people who have been a part of Flipkart before, people who are working in other organizations in the same industry, and HRs from other organizations, getting to know their viewpoint, getting to know what other competitors are doing in that field. All of that, gather research papers, saw as much information that was there on the internet available for us. And the first round, again, we had to give out some benchmarking data as well as the first initial stage of our idea, what we'll be proposing. We gave that, we got through. Then came the daunting semi-finale round. Again, they asked us to do a more complex solution of the one given earlier, and we had to present a 8-slider PPT to virtually to a set of leaders from Flipkart, right? And I specifically remember I was traveling on that day, and I had just landed in my college city, and I ran to find a room. I sat on the stairs and I gave that semi-finale round. And I was really, really nervous. I hoped my network wouldn't go off, and all of these thoughts running through my mind, right? But thankfully, it went well. We presented it to the leaders. They liked it. They asked a few questions, and a few days later, we got to know that we've been selected for the national finale. Again, a really, really exciting and happy moment for us. And then, obviously, Flipkart arranged travel and stay in Bangalore near the headquarters here in ETV, the one where I'm currently at.
Yeah.
And again, the moment I actually entered this space, it was like a very surreal moment. We didn't expect to go this far, to be honest, when we entered. But again, being at that stage, we were really grateful for the people that supported us throughout. Then again, yeah, came the finale day. We came here. We were shown around the campus. Then we were introduced to the leaders. So the then CHRO interacted with us along with other leaders in supply chain and business. And then again, we presented it. So right, HR was the first track to come in and present. So I'm not sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing, because that again, just going right up and presenting without having seen others presented before, we were again very nervous. So the previous night we were up till like 3 or 4 a.m. Just tweaking every little thing we can, just practicing everything we can. And but again, that went decently well. We presented it, and the rest of the day was open to us. So we just explored the campus again, and that happened. We didn't win, unfortunately, but again, the memories and the opportunity that was given to us at that particular point made a much bigger impact to us. Obviously, a win would have been good, but this was still like an experience that I'll never, absolutely never forget. Um, a few weeks later, again came the really good news of getting a PPI. Through this, all of us sat for PPIs, and I was the one who got an offer through after sitting through 2 3 rounds. And in July or June of 2024, I joined Flipkart as a management trainee here. Here in the management trainee role, I went through around 2 stints. So first one was the people experience team and people operations team, and the second one was as the HRBP for corporate functions here. And again, really enriching experiences. Both of them, I had the pleasure of having two really good managers who had experience at Flipkart as well as other companies, and working in the domain that they were for a really long time. So they were able to teach me a lot of stuff that as a fresher I was really new to. And yeah, so after that one particular year, I got into my final role, which currently is. So currently I act as the program manager for talent acquisition as well as the lead for university relations, non-tech campus hiring, right? And yes, so full circle comes back again, and I am hosting WiRED this year for the schools around the country, right? And yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's beautiful. This reminds me of that little quote about how it's not about the journey, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? That's what it's like for you. And if I might ask, what is something from your WiRED experience that you still use in your current role today?
So again, as I said, right, ki networking was a very strange domain for me. I, being an introvert, I don't usually talk to a lot of people, but this kind of made me go out of my comfort zone and speak to professionals, speak to people who are much more experienced than me, speak to people who have been in the industry for a really long time, and get as many insights as possible. But apart from the knowledge part of it, the other part is also that I got to make these connections, and I still talk to a few people out of that. So for example, the mentor that was assigned to us at the end of the so before the grand finale, we're still good friends. We still I still see him in the office. We still interact. We go on chai breaks and talk about a lot of stuff other than work. So again, this is one of the skills that I've picked up, and I think has helped me, or again, I'm still working on it, but has still helped me and will continue to help me going forward, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's lovely. And that's a great segue, actually, because I know a lot of people who are watching this are still deciding whether or not to sign up. So let's get concrete and talk about what this actually involves. Obviously, you spoke a bit about your journey and what it entailed, but
Right.
walk us through the format for Wired X this year. So the team size, number of rounds, what each round asks for. Tell us more about this.
Right. So, as you guys all must know, if you're scanning, please scan the QR code and go to the microsite. All the details are present there. But just to take you guys through a journey from my perspective as well, right? So, 20th July, we launched the case competition. The registrations are currently live. They'll go on till the 2nd of August, which is this Sunday, if I'm not wrong. Then there'll be a normal screening round just to weed out people who do not fit the eligibility criteria. And again, even that is pretty basic and simple. That being you're a current B school student, and secondly, that you cannot register in the same track twice. That's the only restrictions that we've put this year. Um, Yes, so even for registrations earlier, Wired used to be restricted to a set amount of top colleges in the country. But a few years ago, again, we thought about talent as a whole, and we realized that talent can again come from any part of the country, any institution, whether irrespective of the ranking, right? So we've opened Wired a couple of years ago to each and every campus, MBA campus across the country. So anybody who's again the current MBA student, or current MBA student is eligible to apply, right? So post the registration round, we'll screen these people out, and then will come round one, which was going to be a situational judgment test. So for those of you who haven't gone through a situational judgment test before, this year it's going to be based on three tracks that are there. We have an HR track, we have a supply chain track, and we have a business track. Uh, Again, as I mentioned, you can only register in one track. An individual can only register in one track. Then you will be given, let's say, a set of 9 to 10 questions, which will include questions from each of these tracks. And the purpose of that is again to just judge your holistic knowledge on over the business, right? Once you will have to give these tests individually, and in the end, after all of this test round is completed, your total average score is going to be considered. The team's average score is going to be considered, and basis that average score, you will be we'll decide whether you go to the next round or not. In the next round, it will be round two, which is a three-slider submission round. This is where you'll interact with the case study for the first time. Now, to talk some bit about the case studies. So the case studies that we give in Wired usually are problem statements that we are actually dealing with and trying to figure out at the current moment, right? So just to give you an example, during Wired 8.0, that was in 2024, we were just launching, or had just launched just launched Minute at that point, which is our quick commerce wing, right? And again, there was a lot of problems that were coming our way. There was a lot of solutions that we were searching for, and Wired was the best kind of platform for us to launch these questions and ask you guys and to come up with solutions, right? So, and it'll be similar for this year, right? We're coming up with a lot of new ventures. We are, uh, eh, as an organization, we're transitioning into a new era, and all of that will be reflected in the case studies that we'll be giving you. These will be very real world problems that we are giving you an opportunity to solve for. And again, the interesting part is, if you do solve for it, if you do get a PPI and a PPO later, there might be a chance that you'll come back and solve those exact same problems that you've given the solutions to, right? So that is an interesting part. But yeah, coming back to the timeline, so in round two you'll be facing the case study for the first time. uh, Again, this round, it's majorly, as I mentioned before, it's around your research abilities, your benchmarking abilities, and your very basic ideation phase. That is what will be asked for you. Again, more details in the PDF, case study PDF, right? Once you get past this, once you get past this, there'll be the semi-finale round, which is the round three. Here again, we'll just add a few more questions to the ones given before, and you'll have to come up with a more detailed solution to it. Here, you'll after you submitted your presentations, you will be presenting these virtually to a set of Flipkart leaders, people who have been working here for a long time and have enough Flipkart context and are leading particular views, right? Um, and after that particular round will come the national grand finale week, right? Before the grand finale week, there is some 5-6 days where you'll be assigned a Flipkart mentor. Now, this mentor is again somebody who has had enough experience working in Flipkart, and they'll be able to guide you, uh, s- get better solutions for your case study, as well as maybe tell you more about what Flipkart is as an organization, what the culture is, and solve basically any doubts that you have, right? Yeah, last but not least, we have the national grand finale, where we'll fly you guys out to Bangalore. We'll provide you with stay for for the 1 or 2 days that you'll be here, and you'll be invited to the Embassy Tech Village headquarters for Flipkart. Uh, Here you'll interact with people at the CXO level. Let's say it could be our CEO, it could be our CHRO, it could be the head of supply chain. All of these people usually come and visit and assess these people on their case studies. These will be the panelists for the grand finale presentations that you guys will be giving, right? And at the end of it, again, we'll be presenting you with presenting the winners with particular prize monies and awards, as well as the runner-ups, obviously. Now, to mention a few more checkpoints here, for first year students specifically, round two, which is the three-slider submission round, is when we'll be selecting you guys for the PPIs, right? Summer internship PPIs. And this is very important because Wired is our only way to hire for summer interns from B schools. So if you want to be a part of the Flintern group next year, this is your only chance. So that is it. And for second year students, we'll majorly be selecting you guys through the semi-finale round. uh, huh. So that is the that are the two major checkpoints that come up. If you talk about the rewards that are coming up, I think we can discuss that further if you want. But just to come back to it, but still, okay. So the national finalists will be getting around 1.25 lakhs worth of EGVs, Flipkart EGVs, and the runner-ups will be getting EGVs worth 75,000. Along with this, they'll obviously also get the national finalist, as well as the semi-finalist will also receive certificates recognizing their efforts, and obviously bragging rights to be a part of one of
Of
India's
course.
case competition, right? And last but not the least, we'll also be publishing a top 50 breakthrough talent report, which will include students who have performed exceptionally well throughout this series. And that is something that, again, you can add to your CV to give a boost to that if you're applying anywhere else as well, right? This is the basic construct of it. This is the basic timelines of it. If you have any questions, you can obviously ask later on, right?
Beautiful. So we're literally competing with India's brightest minds. That's what we're doing here. Okay, so now realistically, how much time would a student have to actually set aside for all of this from start to finish?
Right. So again, for the basic timelines, August start. We'll start with the first round, and you can assume it'll go on till mid September, mid or early September, second week of September-ish. That's when we're planning for our national grand finale, and we've planned the timelines and schedules accordingly.
Perfect. Okay, now we want to hear from an evaluator's perspective. What actually separates a submission that advances from one that doesn't? And what is your advice for a strong first entry?
Understood. So, speaking for the first round specifically, sorry, second round specifically, where you will have to submit a three slider. Again, here there are a few things to mention. So, first of all, again, your research and networking ability comes in really handy. We'll be able to guess if you're just providing a solution through AI. I'm not saying don't use AI. Please, absolutely do use AI, but don't rely on it 100% to give you a solution. You still have to talk to people. And again, as an past evaluator, I have noticed people who have just used AI and not talk to people at all, right? So that is an important aspect of solving these case studies. Another thing is anything that you suggest, please back it up with as much data as you can. uh, Again, read industry reports, read research papers, gather this data by talking to people on ground, as well as people working in leadership positions. Get as much data as you can, and back everything up with that particular data. Another point is your presentation matters, right? In round two specifically, we're gonna have like thousands of cases or solutions to assess, and we're not gonna have a lot of time to go into the very depth of each and every particular case study. So if you can just make that particular three slider as structured and easy flowing as possible, easy to understand the solution, easy to understand, and you're giving multiple data points, how does it relate to the solutions that you're giving, how you're structuring it so that again there is particular flow to the solution. If that is present in the PPT, it's very easy for the evaluator to kind of be engrossed in that case study and go through the depth, and obviously go uh, select that particular solution for the next round, right? Now again, going forward, you'll obviously use these principles, and you're also going to be present to the leadership. So your speaking ability, your ability to captivate an audience, and able to communicate that particular idea that you've come up with to people of all cohort and personas, again including students as well as these leaders, is going to be very handy. So practice on that as well. And last but not the least, please read up on Flipkart values. We are an organization that cherish these values and live by them daily. That is something that is absolutely so. Even we ourselves as employees are evaluated on these values as one of the factors. So absolutely, we are going to evaluate you as well. I'm not going to tell you them right away. I want you guys to research and come up with these values in your solutions as well. Basically.
Perfect. Okay, and another question for you. What is the biggest misconception that people have about Wired that stops them from applying?
So a lot of people, so even I fell for it. Usually, when people see there's a lot of registrations that have happened, there's a lot of people in a particular track. They feel very demotivated as to how we'll get through to the finale. Is this even like worth giving a shot? But I assure you, it definitely is, and you'll have to tackle it like one step at a time or one round at a time, right? So again, the national grand finale will have just 48 people, but the previous round will have, let's say, 200 to 400 people. The one previous to that will have just a couple of thousand people. So it's just a very small change that is happening if you totally look at it. Don't be afraid of it. Just go for it, present your solutions, and if you have the particular skills required, if you have the particular talent required, you'll get through. Another again misconception is usually we're just shortlisting people from top tier colleges. That is again absolutely not true. uh, it all depends on the solution that you're providing, and as I said, right, your presentation and everything, anything that you've put in your slides. If the idea is really good, if we find it to be innovative, audacious, and if the leaders like it, we are absolutely for it. We try to keep the solutions and submissions as anonymous as possible, so that there is as less of a bias as possible again. So just bear that in mind, and just go for it. That's what I would say.
Okay, so now that people know what they'd actually be signing up for, let's talk a bit about why it's worth doing in the first place. And obviously, we've talked about this a bit already. But Anish, can you tell us, beyond winning, what did you personally walk away with through Wired? Was it your skills, your network, your resume weight, something else?
Right. So a lot of things actually. A few of them I've already mentioned. First of all, again, the one being ability to network and talk to these people. Right.
Mhm.
Secondly, obviously the opportunity to work in an organization as big and exciting as Flipkart. Uh, the Flipkart group, if anybody again doesn't know, is really huge. It contains a lot of organizations such as ClearTrip, Myntra, uh, Jeeves, eCart, and all Supermoney, Myntra, all of these groups, right? So it's a very huge organization. Uh, every day is a different day. I can never come in a single day and guess what I'm going to be solving for on that particular day. It's just that exciting. So if you're passionate and somebody who actually has that inkling to solve problems on a daily basis, this is the organization for you. And apart from that, obviously, it's a really fun organization to work for. The people here are really good. The culture here is amazing. We had recently been nominated as the top 5 great place to work organizations as well, right? So that was also pretty exciting to be a part of this organization, right? Apart from that, again, if I speak about my personal thing as well, I also went along, apart from the professional network I built, the friendships I made along the way are also still intact. So my teammates, Abhishek and Kriti, they're still my friends. I still talk to them sometimes and interact with people who I met on the day of finale as well. So that was something that again stuck with me. And yeah, also the ability to see how how other people my age or who are let's say similar batches to mine are approaching a particular situation, right? So again, I didn't just sit through the HR round, but I also sat through business and supply chain tracks. I saw their solutions, how they're presenting it, and what kind of solutions they're coming up with. And again, it was really daunting at first to see all of these really smart people sitting next to me. But yeah, at the end, I got to talk to these people, and I realized they're just humans like me, and who've just put in the work and they've gotten through, right? So it also gave me a little bit of a different perspective on how to approach these problems and not be afraid of them. So it's just good in that sense as well.
That's beautiful. Okay, and one more thing that we did already talk about, but now that you're on the hiring side of Flipkart, does Wired experience actually come up as a signal when you're evaluating candidates?
Uh, So it absolutely does. Again, as I mentioned, right? So Wired for hiring for management roles, Wired is especially in internships. That is one of our only ways to hire for these particular roles. In full time roles, we have our management trainee role along with other positions that are open that we hire through Wired, right? And Wired is and the reason again we heavily rely on Wired is because it's proven to be a really good assessor of talent for us. Right, we're not biasing, we're not showing bias here by selecting any particular institution or region. We are open across India, and again, we're also trying to move towards a more skill-based organization instead of the conventional hiring strategies. So again, this aligns with that particular process and strategy as well. Uh, Again, we see these guys throughout the two odd 1 or 1.5 months that they are working on Wired and their case studies. We see their presentation skills again. We see how they adhere to the values that Flipkart goes along with, as well as the kind of problem solving abilities they have, the kind of networking abilities they have, the kind of critical thinking, and all these other skills that are required to work in Flipkart, right? We design these case studies in such a way that it tests you on these particular things, right? So again, yeah, it's a really good evaluation metric for us, or methodology for us, and we definitely look out for look out to hire as many people as we can from Wired, right? So this is a good opportunity in that sense to show to us that you are a good talent, and we'll be absolutely happy to give you an opportunity for that.
All right, great. Thank you for that, Anish. I think that's exactly what a lot of people needed to hear. And for anyone who's been listening and feeling the pull to sign up, the QR has been on the screen this whole time, so go for it. All right, now this is the section where I stop asking the questions and you guys take over. We've already got a few coming in the chat, so let's start there. I did see someone ask a question about whether this is only for PG students. So yes, that's right. This is only for MBA students, anyone who's either in their first year or their second year currently pursuing an MBA. Let me see if there's some more questions. Okay, Pragya has asked, Flipkart had mentioned that an individual can register in multiple tracks. Kindly confirm the same.
Yes. So as I mentioned, right, in any particular individual can register in multiple tracks with either the same team or a different team, or even individually. So a team size here is going to be either 1 person, 2 person, or 3 person max. Now, just to give you an example, but they can't register in the same track twice. In an individual can't. So for example, if I have to give just the example of Anish and Amrita, right? I and Amrita are registering in the HR track. Going forward, I both of us can't register either individually or with different teams in the same track again. But if I choose, I can select somebody else and take part in the business track if I want. So that we're free to do. That's it.
Okay, perfect. We've also got a bunch of questions for people who are pursuing finance, asking if there is an opportunity for them to participate.
Right, absolutely. I'd suggest you guys do so. Most of the people who are working in finance usually go for the business track. Now, again, ideally, the business track revolves around marketing and the business development part of it. However, there was a batchmate of mine who was in my again MT batch, who came in as a business MT but got an opportunity to work in the mergers and acquisition teams at Flipkart, and has been instrumental in a lot of high value projects. So opportunity wise, there is nothing that is stopping you, and you're free to do so if you feel like you could contribute to that track, right?
Okay, perfect. I'm not sure if there's more questions. So if anyone does have questions, please post them in the chat. In the meantime, Anish, I have a question for you. What kind of roles do Wired alumni typically move into at Flipkart?
So, okay, if I talk about HR roles, that then there's like once you graduate the management trainee role, right, you get to work in HRBP functions across Flipkart BUs, which could be again corporate functions, or be HR for HR, or the supply chain HR, one tech, and all of that. Apart from that, we have multiple COEs that these trainees eventually land into. One of them being again talent acquisition. Second, we have talent management. We have rewards, where NMT has landed recently. We have culture and engagement. We have people experience and operations, people tech, and HR transformation. There's a lot of other roles as well, right? As for business MTs, again, in Flipkart at least, there's like 3-4 categories or places that they can land into. So we also operate in different models, one of them being marketplace. That's a team where MTs have landed before. Other thing is usually in category there is a buy and sell side. Business MTs again usually land in either of these pods, where they're either dealing with buyers or the customers, or dealing with people who are selling these products on our platform, right? Again, either as a in the marketplace model or as directly. And in supply chain, again, there is multiple tracks. There is supply chain design, there is supply chain planning. There could be certain warehouse roles that are also available if somebody is interested, and other opportunities, right? But again, that is a conversation to be had much later. If you want, we can have that conversation once you are a part of the later stages.
Lovely. Okay, Shreya has asked, coming to round two, making slides and backing it up with data, do we show it as in primary or secondary research if done?
But do we show? Okay.
I
I
Yes.
don't think I understand the question. So again, both primary and secondary research are important. If you want to highlight them as such, you are absolutely free to do so. I think I would encourage it, because if a person sees that you've actually put in an effort and like have spoke to people in your network or outside of it as well, that is a plus point that shows that you've shown some action and initiative from your side. So that's always a plus side. But again, the content also matters, so take care of that.
Mhm. Okay, we have another question, which is, with no product track this year, will the business track have any overlap with technology?
Usually it doesn't, to be honest. Again, I'm not currently sure what kind of roles will open up next year. We'll have that visibility later on, but usually it doesn't.
All right. Now, Rajat has asked, what can we do to ace the JST test of round one?
Yeah, so it's the SJT test, actually, situational judgment test. Again, so to just give you some examples on what it would maybe look like. Uh, you will be given really small one or two sentence situations, and we'll basically just be assessing on how you'll react to it. So there's no particular preparation as such you can do. But again, as I said earlier, you can read up Flipkart, how it operates, what the current culture is, what our values are, and try to adhere to those particular values as much as possible when giving out your solutions or selecting your solutions, right? And again, be as logical as possible. Try to keep operational and functional feasibility in your mind, and I think that should work.
Okay, perfect. Vishwajit has asked, will there be a resume-based shortlisting before the online assessment?
No, so we usually don't look at resumes. However, as I mentioned, we're only going to be looking at whether you're a current year MBA student or not. And I think that is one of the questions that is being asked in the registration stage, anyways. So that is not something, resumes are not something we'll look for in the first stage. That is not why we are collecting your resumes, anyways. Yeah.
Great. Okay, someone has said, I am more into data analytics. Which one would be better, supply chain or business?
I'd encourage you to participate in both. Now, once the case studies come around, you'll have a better understanding of where your interests lie. I don't think I can comment on that, because again, both, if you're talking about an from an analyst's perspective, both these tracks require some bit of analysis and data analysis and that portion, right? But if you're coming in with an expectation that will have elements of product or data analytics, that is a misconception. uh, Again, my suggestion would be the same key. You just take part in both of these tracks, and once you get the case studies, if you get to both of these tracks, you will realize which one you're more interested in, and then you can pursue that particular case study going forward.
Okay. All right. I can see one question that's been repeated for finance. So yes, Vidhi, this is relevant for finance students. Shlok has asked, at what stage is a first-year student eligible for PPI?
So that will be round two, that which is after the situational judgment test, after the three slider submission round. Basis the three slider submission that we receive, we'll be selecting first year students on that particular thing, right? Again, that could be even if you don't go on to the semi-finale round, but if we find the solution interesting and good, we'll still select you for the PPIs.
Great. All right. Vishal has asked an interesting question. If one student is from the first year and the other is from the second year, can they team up, or does everyone in the team have to be from the same graduating year?
No, yeah. So as I said, right, there is practically no other restriction from the fact that you can't register in the same track, and you have to be a current B school student. Now, your team can compose of people from different years, different courses, different specialization, or even different colleges if you want. There is no limitation or restriction in that sense.
Okay, perfect. Shad is asking, is it a team task or individual? Please confirm. Well,
Right.
just,
So
yeah.
team members, the limit for team members is between 1 to 3. If you want to register individually, you are free to do so. There have been cases where individual teams made of one particular individual have also come to the grand finale, and either have been runner-ups or winners. Right. So I would not. If you want to, you can participate as a single person as well as teams.
Perfect. Okay, I can see a bunch of questions about whether undergrad students or folks who have already graduated their MBA can participate. The answer to that is no. Only if you're currently a student, either in your first or second year, you can participate. Okay, Vanshika is asking, so when we clear the quiz, then only we can form teams? Or am
No,
I
no,
too
no. So
fast?
once you're registering, I think if you go through the registrations flow, you'll realize ki as you register, you'll after that particular point, you will be asked to either join a team or create a team. The captains, there'll be one particular captain in each team, and that captain will have the ability to either invite people or remove people from that particular team, right? So again, just go through the registration form. You'll realize what the flow is. It's very simple and easy to understand.
Okay. Question from Priya. If you could give just one piece of advice to students who want to build a career at Flipkart, what would it be? Not related to Wired, but why don't we give this a go?
Understood. Building a career in Flipkart. So again, as an organization, if I have to say, Flipkart is a very interesting paradox because again, we operate at an immense scale. However, we still the culture still remains that of a very newly formed startup. And I'm speaking this in a good way. The people culture is very good. I'm talking about the problem solving ability and the mindset that people here carry, right? So to succeed here, the values keep coming back. You have to learn what the Flipkart values are and adhere to them in your daily life working here. And secondly, again, be as quick and innovative and audacious as possible, right? Now again, it could be across track. You could be in the HR track, business track, or supply chain track. The basics still remain the same. As long we have a lot of problems coming our way, as long as you're solving them and taking ownership of that particular problem, nobody's going to micromanage you or question you. There's a lot of flexibility provided here. So ownership and all of these values and qualities are the only thing that can help you succeed here. Even if you don't have a particular skill, or d- let's say if you don't know a particular subject or topic in your domain, there's a lot of learning opportunities that Flipkart gives you. So from a knowledge or expertise point of view, don't worry about it. As long as you're curious and are willing to learn and adapt to a new environment, it should be fine.
Okay. Simajit has asked, do the internships translate into PPOs? And if yes, when do they get to know about PPOs?
Yes, absolutely. So summer interns who join us after their first years, they usually get their PPO result basis their feedback from managers and other stakeholders. We usually give them out through the placement teams, and that is communicated to them in the months or weeks following their internships.
Okay. We have a question again about how many case study tracks someone can participate in.
No limitation here as well. If you want, you can participate in all three tracks with either the same team or a different team or even individually. Um, you're free to do that.
Great. And is it possible to team up with a student of a different MBA college or university?
Yes, yes, absolutely. There is no limitation there.
Perfect. Once again, for those who are pursuing an MTech or anything other than an MBA, sorry, this contest is not the right fit for you. However, there are many other opportunities that you could explore on my Careernet, on Flipkart, that you would find valuable, but not Wired for sure. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for the questions, actually. If anyone still has any questions that you have, or maybe even issues that you might be facing, then there's another QR code up on the screen here. It's for our Discord support channel. So if you do have very specific questions for our team, scan this QR code, join in, and post it up there, and we'll reach out to you. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. That kind of brings us to a wrap for today. Anish, thank you so much for your time today and for being so honest about the whole journey. I think that's exactly what people needed to hear. And some words from you, maybe.
Um, Again, thank you for having this session. It's been a pleasure talking to you and all of you people as well. Uh, but again, yeah, all the best for those who participating. I again encourage you to register in as many tracks as you can and get your thinking boots on. Thinking hats on, and just go for it. Don't be afraid of the competition. Don't think that there is anything else coming your way. There is, again, we've kept the restrictions as low as possible. We've tried to eliminate as many biases as possible. So this is a really good opportunity for you if you are someone who likes to solve problems, and real world problems at that, and would like to be a part of this wonderful organization that is Flipkart, right? Just all the best, and if you have any doubts, yes, reach out to the channels that Amrita has mentioned, and I hope to see a lot of you in ETV during the grand finale, as well as future during your internships and full times roles, right? So yes, all the best, and thank you for being a part of this session. And yes, if you have again any further doubts, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. I'll be free to answer them.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. And to everyone who's still here, the registration QR is still up on the screen. So if you've been on the fence for the last 1 hour, this is your sign. You can scan it now and register. Again, if any support questions come up, the Discord QR stays open for you too. And this session will also stay available on our YouTube channel and LinkedIn both. If you'd like to revisit it, share it with friends, that's there for you. So yeah, thank you all so much. Have a great evening, and see you in the contest.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye. All the best.